Kol Elohim La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to my leaders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. I am Lakamah back again to do the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Let me get straight to it and let the scripture speak. 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 6. For though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool. So the Apostle Paul is basically saying, even if he wanted to boast and exalt himself, it would be a foolish thing to do so because it's vain. And in this ministry, it's not about us. It's about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. As the scripture says, he that exalts himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. So we shouldn't boast or exalt ourselves, but instead exalt and boast in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. For I will say the truth, right? Because Lord Yahushua did reveal a lot of things to the Apostle Paul. That is truth. But now I forbear. Yeah, so the Apostle Paul is saying that he'll stop himself from talking too much about the many revealings that the Lord have showed him. Lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heard of me. Right, so the Apostle Paul don't want people to think he's better than what he really is. He don't want people to think, or he didn't want people to think that he was something. And this is the mindset that we should have in this ministry. Knowledge puff it up. No, this knowledge, wisdom, understanding is beautiful, but knowing this knowledge can cause you to become proud and thinking that you're someone. You gotta understand that this knowledge, wisdom, understanding was given unto us. It's a gift. It's a reward from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And if it was given unto us, it could be taken away. Verse 7, at least I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations. Right? As I mentioned, Lord Yahushua revealed much wisdom unto the Apostle Paul. And that much wisdom that he obtained can cause him to become very proud. There was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measures. Right, so the Apostle Paul, he obtained much wisdom from Yahushua, but in order to balance that out so he don't become proud, the Most High gave him something to keep him humble. He said, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh.
Strong's G 4647, scallops. Scallops.
Greek word for thorn is scallops. Strong's definition. Okay, it says a point or prickle, figuratively, a bodily annoyance or disability. So this thorn represents a problem or some type of adversity or pain that the Apostle Paul had to go through. It says the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure, right? The word buffet means to strike. So this pain, this adversity, this trouble that the Apostle Paul was dealing with was likened unto an enemy. Satan means enemy, adversary. So this trouble came like an adversary to buff him, to strike him. So this thorn that the Apostle Paul was going through gave him a hard time, but it was balanced. So the Most High allowed this to happen. And the things that we go through, the various adversities, it builds our spirit. It makes us stronger spiritually. So when he said, at least I should be exalted above measure, Paul is saying to prevent from becoming very proud or thinking highly of himself, the Lord gave him a thorn to keep him humble. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me, right? So the Apostle Paul, he prayed 3 times to the Lord, asking that he'll take that particular adversity he was going through away. But the Lord didn't remove it, because this thorn that the Apostle Paul had was a purpose. It had a purpose. It was a reason why the Apostle Paul had to deal with this thorn, this adversity. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Right? So the Lord responded that his grace is sufficient for thee. So the Lord's mercy and help is all that we need. And the Lord said that his strength is made perfect in weakness. So when we are weak, the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua intervenes and it's at work. So to show you that this is all about Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. The Lord's strength is made perfect when we are weak. So we can't do it ourselves. We're nothing. We're nobody. Jacob is likened unto a worm, which represents defenseless, harmless. We're not independent, but we're dependents. So we depend on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. So when we can't do it ourselves, that's when Yahweh Shah shows true magnificent power. And he shows that through us. We still here suffering and in this ministry because of Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah. Most gladly, therefore, I would rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Yahweh Shah may rest upon me, right? And this is all a part of Yahweh Shah's suffering. We have to suffer now to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So, Apostle Paul, he's glad, and he'd rather give glory in his infirmities. Yeah. And the Lord is really dealing with those that suffer. The scripture says that the Lord chastened us his sons. If we're going through some type of affliction or adversity, that means the Lord is dealing with you. So it's better to boast and glory in infirmities than to boast and glory in the things that you know, or how much the Lord is dealing with you, how much revealings you received from the Lord. Now it's better to glory in affliction, that the power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah may rest upon me. Because when we weak, the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah gives us strength, gives us power. No, the Lord got us on his back, on his shoulders. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities and reproaches and necessities and persecution and distresses for Yahweh Shah's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. Right? So this is the spirit that we gotta have. We gotta take pleasure in the infirmities, the reproaches, the necessities, persecutions, and distresses for Yahweh Shah's sake. Because as I mentioned, this is all part of Yahweh Shah's suffering. In order to enter into the kingdom of heaven, in order to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shah Mashiach, we must suffer with him. Whether it be by infirmities, reproaches, necessities, persecution, distress. You see, persecution is coming in the near future. A lot of us may be martyrs for Yahweh Shah's sake. A lot of us may be thrown in prison in times to come. The persecution of the prophets is coming. But this is all for Yahweh Shah's sake. As the scripture says, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If Lord Yahweh Shah went through it, we must go through it. So we have to go through these things in order to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shah Mashiach. And it says, for when I am weak, then I am strong, right? So when we feel weak, that's when we're really strong, because we got Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah, our power. When I say our power, I mean the children of Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, as well as you Israelite foreigners scattered abroad. Kol Hoyim La Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah Ba'ashim Kakudash. Shalom.